live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
All right, thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. It is Tuesday, February 13th. If you love someone, tomorrow's the big day. All right, tonight we're going in depth on the latest, a UHP trooper who was injured after falling off a highway overpass. This happened earlier today. We're going to go in depth on that in just a moment. So as we go in depth, you can in the show, I would encourage you to use the fancy hashtag 2NewsLive. It's back and better than ever. Join the conversation. You can always find me on the socials, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even on TikTok. I check it once a day. Send a DM there to weigh in. Going in depth tonight, a Utah Highway Patrol trooper in the hospital after falling off a freeway bridge, or at least a bridge near the freeway, after they were trying to deploy spike strips on a vehicle they were chasing, a wanted suspect. This was the end of a wild sequence of events. Began in Salt Lake City. Amanda Gilbert's been out there all day. She's at the scene. Amanda, what can you tell us about the trooper's condition? And just take us through the steps of what took place here in case people are hearing this the first time.
Yeah, I do want to talk about that. One thing I really do want to mention, there was actually no police chase. I know UHP wanted us to stress that today. And also very important news, that trooper is stable, still serious, but stable condition. We did get that update, which is great news because scary situation. But this all started before 10 this morning. Salt Lake City police were attempting to do a traffic stop during a drug investigation, but the SUV drove off, so they did not pursue. Later, they spotted that SUV actually, and the suspect hit a police officer's patrol car. The car had damage, officer wasn't injured, but during all this, they kind of alerted other agencies of what was going on. UHP was attempting to deploy spikes on 7200 West on the overpass to try to stop that SUV. Now, while trying to deploy those spikes, a trooper fell off the freeway bridge. Fell, I would estimate, at least 50 feet, was seriously injured and flown to a local hospital. So really, really scary. Again, that trooper is stable, and eventually a helicopter did find the suspect in all this at near a hotel. That suspect was taken into custody. So story we've been following all day. We've been posting updates too on our news app as well. Back to you, Brian.
Amanda, obviously it was a bridge and the road underneath was what, a dirt road, partially paved. This wasn't falling onto I-80, for example. I-80 wasn't impacted in all of this. Also, there was an incident that unfolded here with the suspect, I believe, ramming into a Salt Lake City police cruiser as well. Any information there about how that officer is doing?
We know that officer wasn't injured, but the suspect did hit his car, or his or her car, minor damage to the car. And I'm actually standing at the area where the trooper fell. It's kind of like a frontage road right next to I-80. I would say it's partially paved here. So very scary to fall in this area. Back to you.
Amanda Gilbert live for us here on 2 News Live with the latest on something we've been following throughout the day. Amanda, thank you very much. Salt Lake City police identifying the driver in all of this, 34-year-old Sammy Michael Swickey. We found that Swickey has a history of drug possession and driving without a license. Today, Swickey was booked into the Salt Lake County Jail on just a slew of charges, which includes aggravated assault that was listed in the jail log as a third-degree felony in this instance, possession of controlled substance, also paraphernalia, facing charges of failing to stop at the command of an officer and driving on a denied or revoked license. Swickey's done a lot of these before, has a lengthy criminal background, similar charges to those he was booked on today. These date back to 2010, where Swickey actually had a second-degree felony charge stemming from Iron County, which he pled guilty for. Since then, numerous felony and misdemeanor charges related to possession, also to theft. Back in 2016, Swickey was charged with failing to stop for police out of Tooele County, where he lives, and in 2022, more possession charges and driving without a license after an incident in West Valley City. Also that year, multiple theft and burglary charges out of Tooele. He was on probation, according to a court filing I just looked at this afternoon, in January of this year. So that would be about 1 month ago. Swickey graduated from drug court. According to Salt Lake City police, they were looking for Swickey today in connection to a drug investigation. A family seeking asylum in the United States leads them on a wild journey That is them staying in a Utah shelter tonight. It's a sign that the challenges at the southern border are actually having a growing impact on our state here in Utah. Christian Sita spoke to the family today. Christian, how did they end up in Utah in the first place?
Yeah, Brian, I talked to that family today. They told me that they showed up to this local shelter here in Salt Lake this weekend, but they told me their journey started back in December of 2023. That's when they arrived in Texas, and from Texas, they went to New York City, where they stayed for about a month, and then they were transported here to Salt Lake City this past weekend. Now, the family does tell me they don't know why they were sent here, and they do tell me that once they arrived at the airport, they had no idea who they were supposed to contact, where they were supposed to go. But a man did approach them and told them about a homeless shelter here in the valley, and that's when they, got on the tracks. And that's when they traveled to the homeless shelter, and that's where they received them. And right now, they're currently staying at a hotel.
Christian, very interesting. Obviously, no direction when they get here, but emotionally, what did they tell you about the ordeal, the trip, what this has been like to go through this? I'm sure a lot of people at home will be thinking, are they doing okay? Do they need anything? Anything that you can share on that front?
Yeah, Brian, they did share with me that, again, they feel very, they're really upset, really confused because they don't know what's going on. They don't have family here. They don't have any relatives, so they don't know who to reach out to, what to do. But again, the shelter is trying to find some permanent housing for them. This morning they were out looking for work. They told me that, they went to local businesses and asked if, they could help. And again, I did reach out to the governor's office this morning, and they just replied, actually. And they told me that Utah, among other states, has asked for improved communication with the federal government and for serious reforms to the asylum system to reduce the burden interior cities and states are experiencing here.
Christian Sita looking into this one for us. A fascinating story, a journey, and I hope we continue to follow what happens here. Christian, thank you. Let's get to some weather now. A powerful, fast-moving storm brought some heavy snow to areas of the Pacific Northwest, it looks like. Rhode Island government officials, so that would be in New England. Okay, we got two different places. More than a foot of snow there in Jersey. So we're looking East Coast here. Take the super down. Pennsylvania. More than 1,200 flights have been canceled within or out of the United States. Maybe it's just snowing everywhere,
right?
Because you know what? When I leave the state of Utah, it snows. It happens every time. And as a skier, I'm just happy others are getting the goods. Hey, Sean Kelly's here. Sean?
Hey,
first
thanks
time
for having
we're doing
me.
this.
Thanks for
this
having
is
me.
cool. Sean
Yeah.
could be here for a little bit, so that's pretty
That's
awesome.
right.
What are we looking at?
Well, going back to that storm, because my hometown in New Jersey, they
Ah,
saw
so
a
it
good
was
form.
East Coast.
It was East
All right,
Coast,
cool.
Northeast and Southern New England seeing some good snow, and that was a big deal because New York City, they haven't really seen some good snow in a few years, really. So this was a good storm for much of the Northeast. But here at home, we've been dealing with some mild weather. Right now, we're 7th place for the warmest December through February, so it's been warm.
I've been saying that. Native New Englander here.
Yeah.
And it never snows anymore since I moved west.
Right.
I feel like it's great to see some snow there in the East Coast. Maybe some of those ski resorts there can just get the goods for a little bit.
They've been battling. They've been battling some dry weather,
tough.
warm weather. It's been tough. But here, despite it being so warm, our mountains in Utah, they've been picking up some good snow. So let's get to the maps. Let's show you what's going on across the area. We continue to see that warm weather last through the next few days, mild weather continuing on. And we could even see some snow showers and some snow flurries into the northern part of the state, including southern Idaho. Not expecting anything in the way of major accumulations, but we are tracking that as we progress here through the next few days. So it's 46 degrees. That is still definitely light jacket weather for you here, but we're dealing with at least a few degrees warmer than normal. Winds very light out of the west-northwest, 9 miles per hour. Look at this. We're a good 5, 6, 7 degrees warmer from 24 hours ago, so we're heading in the right direction here if you like the warm weather. We're dealing with temperatures at Logan cooling down a little bit there, 38 degrees, 40 in Heber, down through Manny at 37, and Cedar City at 47 degrees, 58 in St. George. That's a nice spring-like temperature for you. We're seeing increasing clouds. Our next storm system just up towards the north, out near northern portions of the state, including southern Utah. We'll start to see some of that orographic lift, some of the enhancement, seeing some of that snow into the mountains later on this evening, mainly after midnight. Could even see a few snowflakes into the lower valleys here, including downtown in Salt Lake, but mainly for our higher elevations, you'll pick up maybe 1 to 2 inches of snow at best. Then we dry it out into tomorrow morning. As we head into the day, tomorrow for your afternoon, evening plans, you're good to go. We start to see some of that moisture, though, moving in from Idaho late in the evening tomorrow. As we get into Thursday morning, that's when we start to see some of that heavy precipitation and the main event, the main storm filling in. This is when we get the best chance of maybe some good snow for our northern and central mountains for much of the day heading through Thursday. Could even see some of that rain and heavy rain at times bringing down those snow levels here. Could even see some snowflakes mixing in the lower valleys here, including along the Wasatch Front, maybe up to an inch or so of snow along the benches, but that starts to taper off as we get into Thursday evening. We start to see some drier conditions, and then Friday we're looking at a pretty nice day here for you. How much snow do we pick up? Valleys about a coating to maybe an inch at best. That's for Thursday. The Wasatch back about 1 to 4 inches. Probably Park City getting closer to 5 inches or so, and then the mountains seeing about 5 to 10 inches, maybe out to seeing up to a foot of snow, and that's going to be great for any skiers out there. If you're heading out to the mountains through the next few days, we're talking about a few chances for some snow later on tonight, 1 to 2 inches of snow, but Thursday will be the main event, 5 to 10 inches with some isolated areas picking up close to a foot of snow, especially in the little cottonwoods. As we get through the holiday weekend, really nice weather here, 40s, 50s. We do have to watch out for some light to moderate rain as we get into Sunday, but generally a pretty nice forecast there for you. The lows overnight falling down to the 30s and 20s, so still pretty chilly. We'll watch out for some of that snow for the northern part of the state heading to the day tomorrow. Any evening plans, dinner plans, you should be good to go with temperatures into the 40s. St. George, we're looking at 60s as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend, and then into next week. We'll be watching out for a few additional rain chances, but the better chances of rain will be for the northern part of the state, especially as we get into Thursday. Thursday, we'll watch out for some accumulating snow. That'll be mainly above 5,500 feet. We dry it out into Friday, and then the holiday weekend ahead, we'll watch out for some of that rain into Sunday.
Digging that 7-day +2 here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we debuted that when you were away. Yeah.
I know. See, all these things happen when I'm gone. I don't get it. Sean goes to Alta.
That's right.
The Alta ski
Yes,
area.
yes, and it was fantastic.
What'd you think?
I mean, it was never ending too. The amount of different lifts and the different peaks you can go to. The snow was fantastic. The views were phenomenal. The skiing, I mean, the best I've ever had.
You could have skied right over and met up with Trent Parker over at Snowbird. He would have
That's right.
loved to have you. I know that. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Remember to download our 2 News weather app. Know about those changes in your neighborhood. You get updated forecasts, live radar, the palm of your hand. The app is free to download. Use that Follow Me feature. It's really easy to use, especially if you're traveling around. Thanks for being here for 2 News Live. Good to be back with you in studio. I was starting to breathe all the recreational there in Vegas. I didn't know if I had my wits about me there. Oh, man, what a time. And obviously being with you there for some Super Bowl coverage. Hope you enjoyed the game on CBS on Sunday. Did you watch the game?
Absolutely.
What'd you think?
It was fantastic. I mean, overtime, too, for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, which doesn't happen much. So a lot of people didn't like Usher. Did you like Usher?
Yeah.
Usher's my era.
I mean, the moves. I mean,
the roller skating.
The roller, yeah.
So I was like way up high seeing that. Just being there and seeing it in person, I do think maybe it gave me a little extra edge because I know some people didn't love it on TV. Obviously, a generational
on TV,
thing.
I mean, there's a lot of distractions.
I
You
know.
got food flying around. You know, you got your uncle talking.
It was a good time. I made it back in one piece. That is all that matters. We'll talk more about it on Arc Salt Lake coming up tonight, 7 o'clock. Thanks for being back with us here on 2 News Live. Good to be with you. We're back tomorrow for another fine installment of the show. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.